just now tuning in, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the bell. GMS fam, the green room. Let's talk about it. Yo, GMS fam, what up, man? What's going on, everybody? It is a wonderful Thursday, one day before the weekend again. You know what it is, man. I hope y'all having a wonderful day, a wonderful week. Hope y'all woke up on the right side of the bed. I'm spreading all positive energy, all good vibes to everyone right now in the chat. What up, Brim Dog, Ralph S, Prophylactic, Love Lace, Lady Aries. What's going on, GMS fam, the green room? As always, just pulling it in, the positive energy, and just pulling and pushing it back out to y'all, man. That's all I want to do, man. That's all I want to do. I want to do it a lot more now because of the type of episode we are gonna have. But it's not a sad episode. It's a righteous episode. You understand? It's a righteous episode. What up, Brandon Lacey? What up, C. Reef? This one is going to be on the path of righteousness. There's no sadness in this. A brother didn't have to get killed when it came to this situation, thank God. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be able to get this story out here because what happened right here in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, during the George Floyd I don't know what to call it. It was a time to be alive. I know that much. Jalil Stallings. If you guys have not heard, how many of you guys heard of Jalil Stallings? Have y'all heard of that? Have y'all heard of this person? Let me show you a picture of this guy. Have you guys heard about Jalil Stallings? What up, everybody that joined in? Appreciate y'all. Hit that like button on the way in. Have y'all heard of this guy right here? Jalil Stallings is a Minnesota resident who was in a situation right after George Floyd was killed. You know, tensions were high between everyone who lived out here in Minnesota and between the police. And the police took it upon themselves to abuse their power even more when it came to that time. So when it came to, I believe this was around the time of curfews that we had. They saw people out, and I guess their first instinct was to shoot non-lethal, sorry about the train in the background, non-lethal rounds at random citizens on the street. and it was open season for them basically. What happened was there were a group of officers riding in a unmarked white van down the street in Minneapolis, shooting at people who were still on the streets with non-lethal rounds. This man right here was standing by his truck with a few other people, and when they noticed that they heard, I don't know what they heard first, but they saw the van pulling up with the doors wide open, and all of a sudden, shots rang out. So what this legal gun owner did when somebody pulled up in a random white van and started shooting is he shot back. 3 rounds. Pop, pop, pop. Looked closer, realized it was the police. He put his gun on the ground. He laid on the ground. And they proceeded to beat this man when they ran up on him. The police said that they made verbal commands and that this man shot at the police, which resulted in the police having to try to run up on him and subdue him, and said he resisted arrest. Let me tell you what really happened. So, this is just from an excerpt from an article. We're gonna get to the video footage because the video footage is even more alarming. Trigger warning for those who hate things like this. Before the white unmarked cargo van of the Minneapolis Police Department drove down Lake Street, an officer gave Sergeant Andrew Bittell his orders: drive down Lake Street. You see a group, call it out. Okay, great. F them up. Gas them. F them up. Bittell turned to his SWAT unit in the van and said, all right, we're rolling down Lake Street. The first effers we see, we're just hammering them with 40s. According to the body cam footage described in court documents, he was referring to less lethal plastic projectiles, sometimes called rubber bullets or 40 millimeter launchers or rounds. It was nighttime, just 5 days after the murder of George Floyd by Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. Protests and riots had raged for days and laid waste to businesses along Lake Street and 3rd Precinct Police Station. By May 30th, protests had ebbed, but a curfew was in effect. At 17th Avenue and Lake Street around 10 p.m., the SWAT team saw a group of people outside the Stop and Shop gas station. Bittell told the driver to head toward the station and said, let them have it, boys. Wow. Right there, get him, get him, get him, hit him, hit him. He ordered as the officers fired their plastic bullet launchers without warning. They later learned they were shooting at the gas station owner. Neighbors and relatives guarding the station from more looting, as well as bystanders, including a Vice News reporter who had his hands up and was yelling, press. A SWAT team member pushed the reporter to the ground, and as he lay there with his press card up, another officer pepper sprayed him in the face. About an hour later, 3 blocks to the west, they opened the sliding door of the van and began firing plastic rounds at people in parking lots. They hit Jalil Stallings, 29, at St. Paul truck driver who says he didn't know they were cops because they were inside an unmarked white cargo van with the police lights off. He thought they were real bullets, and he says he was mindful of warnings earlier that day from no less than Government Tim Walsh that white supremacists were roaming the city looking for trouble. I remember this distinctly, and because a lot of people who were on the outside looking in didn't understand what was happening out here, it made it even harder for the message to be passed around. But we all was hearing that different people from other states were coming up here, specifically white supremacist groups, white right-wing, white nationalist groups coming out here with the vest on and their AKs or whatever it is, that their automatic weapons, whatever they're using, that they were coming out here and they were going to quote unquote regulate the protest and the rioting and looting that was going on. So of course, this man was on high alert when he sees a white van with no police lights, nobody saying anything, and the door's wide open and somebody just starts letting off shots. What do you think he's thinking right now? Anyway, Stallings, an Army veteran, a vet, you know, like the people that they said that they were trying to protect and how we needed to respect the veterans when they fucking kneeled on the fucking field. Yeah, the same people. The same Blue Lives Matter motherfuckers, the same ones in the blue, went and just straight up shot at a veteran for no reason. Returned fire with his mini Draco pistol, for which he had a permit. He aimed low toward the front of the van and didn't hit anyone. When the SWAT team jumped out of the van yelling shots fired, Stallings realized they were police, so he dropped his weapon and lay face down on the pavement, according to court documents. His eye socket was fractured in the beating that followed, with officers later claiming he resisted arrest. A Hennepin County jury recently acquitted Stallings of all charges after he was allowed by a judge to claim self-defense. Look at what they did to him. Look at what they did to him. Court documents and transcripts reveal a far different story than the one officers told investigators, as well as the tales police and prosecutors offered up to the media. The documents and other court records also reveal what until now has remained largely obscure. How was the Minneapolis Police Department reacting to the protest, civil unrest, looting, and rioting in the days of after Floyd's murder? The answers: fiercely and at times indiscriminately. In a pretrial order, Hennepin County District Judge William Koch was critical, if judiciously so, of MPD leadership. While the court recognizes there can be appropriate bravado to support colleagues going into battle or to address concerns about personal safety, it is not too much to accept those in leadership positions to know the proper way to motivate and support their officers without inciting them to inappropriate behavior toward the public they serve. He wrote, "How a superior expresses himself can help cool heads or heat them up." They take it so lightly on these guys. Like, listen to what the judge is saying. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. The police's version. Listen to this. Now pay attention to how the police, I'm reading this before I show y'all the video because it's very important. Trust me. It's very important for me to read this to what the police said happened, and then I'm going to show you the video of what actually happened, all right? The police's version. Here's what police and prosecutors said happened in press release. SWAT officers were patrolling Lake Street in an unmarked white van to control the crowds that were causing severe property damage when they came upon a group near 14th Avenue. While several people dispersed, Stallings stepped out from behind a pickup, walked toward the officers, and crouched by the driver's side door as if to pick up something. The officers, concerned that he was planning to throw debris or rocks at them, fired a 40-millimeter marking round at Stallings, who fired 3 to 4 shots in the direction of the officers, narrowly missing them, according to the criminal complaint. The complaint said officers deployed 1 40-millimeter round at Stallings. They said 1. Even though officers fired 2 rounds before Stallings returned fire. Stallings quickly ran away and was handcuffed after a struggle, according to a press release issued by Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman, who said Stallings was charged for shooting at police officers amidst riots and protests and firing multiple shots at SWAT officers during riots. None of the officers nor Stallings were injured, the release said, even though Stallings' bruised, scraped face on his mugshot clearly indicates otherwise, and he was taken to the hospital after his arrest. The criminal complaint said that during police questioning, Stallings asked if anyone had been killed, and after being told no, he said he wanted to speak with a lawyer, and the statement was ended. But Stallings' lawyer said a recording of the interview shows Stallings twice asked whether the officers were okay, not whether he had killed anyone, saying his main concern was making sure everybody was okay. When an officer said no one had been seriously hurt, the officer noted Stallings appeared relieved. During the interview, the officer even expressed appreciation for Stallings' concern for the well-being of the officers involved. Now, I need you to understand when this happened, things like this were being posted. September 2020. Biden's campaign staffers donated to Minnesota bail fund that freed various violent offenders, including a convicted serial R and Jalil Stallings, who charged with attempt murder of police during Emmen riots. There were several people out there putting out a fake narrative about this man, this black man, and had him demonized in the media, saying that he was the person that was trying to murder police. Then they were making it a political thing because of the MN Freedom Fund, where they went and they collected donations to help people get out, to help protesters get out of jail. And people were on here talking about they paid $75,000 in cash to get Stallings out of jail, according to their interim director, Greg Lewin. People were mad that this guy got freed because they knew that what happened to him wasn't right. But the people on the outside looking in is demonizing him because he's already a black man and he shot at police, not knowing anything that happened. Now, this is where we get to the video footage. The video shows Minneapolis police officers firing less lethal weapons at people on Lake Street from their unmarked white van without identifying themselves as law enforcement or issuing warnings or commands. Please watch this.
Go home.
First of all, let me just say this. These people have body cams on and are clearly breaking their own laws and going against what they swore to do. All this is unlawful. And they have body cams on and they know this. You want to know why they're comfortable with doing this? Because their superiors are cool with this. No way in hell, if you had bosses or people that actually wanted to have things go right in their precinct and with their police force, would there be anybody this comfortable breaking their own laws and doing this type of shit to people freely with a body cam on? Rewind this and look how they didn't say shit and was just shooting and telling people to go home. This is how they treat black people and y'all wonder. A lot of people wonder why things like this happen in the community. They just think people woke up one day and decided to be fucking crazy and started looting and rioting and all this other shit, like we woke up and then all of a sudden the police reacted to it. No, this is the type of shit that they do and that their superiors allow them to do. And then when they get caught up in a situation where somebody was supposed to get hit in this situation, somebody was supposed to be in the wrong, it wasn't supposed to be them. They doing this so somebody else can fuck up. And this man knew what he was doing. And when there's no way out of it, and when there's video to be got from a lawyer, because they don't expect these people in this neighborhood to have legitimate lawyers and shit like that, where they can request and actually get the footage and body cam footage and street cam footage and all that shit. Matter of fact, let me shut the fuck up. Just watch how they did this shit. Watch how they did Jalil Stallings. These are other people they're shooting at, by the way. They didn't even get to Jalil yet. They shot at them over there.
Go home.
Just saying, go home. This is Jaleel. Boom, boom. Shot twice. And then he shot back. Pay attention. They shot twice. And then he shot back 3 times. Watch. 1, 2. Boom, boom, boom. Then when he heard them saying shots fired and when he realized it was the police, clearly he stopped shooting. Now, if this was somebody who was trying to get at the police, do you think he would have stopped shooting? Now, this is one angle. They're gonna switch the angles up so you can see the angle from which he was standing, where he was no threat to nobody, and he was looking confused, seeing a white van pull up on him, and he shot, and then when he realized it was the police, immediately got on the ground. Just watch. Watch how they got up on him. This is the other angle. They don't know what's happening. Then he realized it was the police and he got down. Can y'all see that? Can y'all see that? Can y'all see that? Watch. No. He didn't die. He didn't die. He's alive, and he was acquitted. His case was dropped because of this footage right here. Watch. Then he got on the ground. Now watch what happened when they run up on him. He's already on the ground, hands up.
He's on the ground, dude. He's down.
Hear that? He's down. He's down.
He's on the ground.
He's on the ground. Now watch. Watch the officer when he comes up to him. Boom, kicks him.
Fucking piece of shit.
Kicks him again. Kicks him again. Punch him, kicks him, punch him. Beating him up, beating his ass.
Son, listen. Put your hands on your back. Listen. Put your hands on your back. Listen. Put your hands on your back.
Steady kicking him.
Put your hands on your back.
Look at that. Still hitting him. Hands behind his back. Still hitting him in his fucking back. Refer back to to what I said earlier. Refer back to what I said earlier. What was their statement? Let's go back. Now that you saw what happened, listen to what they said. SWAT officers were patrolling Lake Street in an unmarked van to control the crowds and the property damage. While several people dispersed, Stallings stepped out from behind a pickup truck, walked toward the officers, and crouched by the driver's side door as if to pick up something. The officers concerned what he was planning to throw, and they fired 40mm marking rounds at Stallings, who fired 3 to 4 shots in their direction, saying he shot first. Then they said he quickly ran away and was handcuffed after a struggle. And he was charged with shooting at police officers amidst a riot and firing multiple shots at SWAT during a riot and resisting arrest. Please refer back to what the fuck you just watched. This the police we gotta deal with. We all gotta deal with this shit everywhere. It's everywhere.
He's on the ground.
Where did he run? The cop made several statements saying he is on the ground. Where in the hell did he quickly run away to? And then where was the after the struggle? Where was the struggle when he got down on the ground and you started kicking him? Listen.
Fucking piece of shit. You fucking piece of shit.
He's saying sorry repeatedly.
Listen. Put your hands on your back. Listen. Put your hands on your back. Listen. Put your hands on your back! I'm trying. Put your hands on your back! I'm trying. Put your hands on your back! Cuff. I'm trying. There's a gun behind you. I'm trying, sir.
This was definitely in Minnesota.
I'm trying, sir. I'm trying, sir.
1281.
Sir?
Priority. Shots fired. 2 suspects in custody. Gun recovered. We are at.
More footage.
We're out here peacefully protesting. This is fucking America.
They also, this is another footage. This is more footage that they acquired. They acquired body cam video showing officers discussing hunting people on the streets of Minneapolis, celebrating shooting protesters, and mocking journalists who were exempt from curfew. Watch.
We can say what we want.
Just shooting for no reason. And what did I say? What did I say before? What the hell did I say before? Think about that. They're doing this on body cam video. They have body cams on, and they know this. It's knowledge to them that they have body cams on. And they're doing this because guess what? It's not just them. It's the higher ups. It's their superiors who are okay with this. Why do we need to reform the police? This is why.
Gotcha! 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 Gotcha!
This is a fucking game to them.
1283 copy, 6 overnight.
Yeah. They can't go anywhere.
Well, hold on a second. Let me check your credentials. Make a few phone calls just to verify who the fuck.
They think they can do whatever they want. They have a little band.
It's a fucking curfew.
The irony of saying they think they can do whatever they want. Damn.
They're everywhere. They'll trip. I mean, over in St. Paul, they were right up.
Yes, sir. We're in the process of that here.
We gave a few over to them tonight for like 15 minutes.
We'll fucking flank them. We'll flank them.
We just want to wait until we got resources to make the rest. I mean, I got no problem with that. I love to scatter them, but it's time to fucking put 100 people in jail.
Yeah.
And just prove the mayor wrong about his white supremacists from out of state.
I agree.
Listen to that. Listen to that.
And just prove the mayor wrong about his white supremacists from out of state.
I agree.
Although this group probably.
Listen to how they strategically do shit. Hey, I would just like to disperse them, but it's time to put these people in jail to prove the mayor wrong about his white supremacists coming from other states. Purposely putting people of color in jail and then putting labels on them as if they are the problem so that they can try to kill a narrative that they are a part of. Listen to more, just a little
Probably
bit.
is predominantly white.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Because he's not looting and firing.
5-6 of the people said they're from Minneapolis and they're all white.
Yep.
There is a march about 150 to 200.
But the police aren't about being racial at all, right? It's just about the blue, back the blue. No, these are white men who are clearly racist and have badges on. and think that they can patrol a community that has a predominantly black population in it. Run that back.
White supremacists. I mean, I got no problem with that. I love to scatter them, but it's time to fucking put 100 people in jail.
Yeah.
And just prove the mayor wrong about his white supremacists from out of state.
I agree.
Although this group probably is predominantly white.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Because it's not looting and fires.
5-6 of the people said they're from Minneapolis and they're all white.
Yep.
Predominantly white, so it's not looting and rioting.
There is a march, about 150 to 200 people in it. They're currently eastbound.
Even though a lot of the videos and a lot of the pictures that came out of people looting and rioting had a lot of white people in it. But hey, what do I know?
That was a busy night.
It's nice to hear that we've moved to tonight. It was just nice to hear. We're gonna go find some more people instead of chasing people around.
Yeah.
We're going to. You guys.
You guys. Let me tell you something. This has been going on for a long ass time. And then when you hear things like this, it makes a lot more sense as to why you will see something like a George Floyd situation happen, to where a police officer can sit there and kneel on somebody's neck for several minutes until he dies. Police don't give a damn about anybody. They don't. What is protect and serve? What? Excuse me? What the fuck does that mean? That's foreign to them. What the fuck is protect and serve? It's about anarchy. It's about causing dismay and confusion and destruction and violence. Think about this. If there was no footage, what do you think will be happening to Jalil Stallings right now? Their statement was a complete lie, yet they were able to tell it because they had the thought that this wasn't going to go Jalil's way. And definitely had no idea he was a veteran. It makes no sense how something like this could, I mean, it does make sense, actually. We live in America. Sorry, I almost lost my train of thought there. I almost slipped up. It does make sense why this happens. And then to be even more bold to know that there's civil unrest happening in the city. There's tension between black people specifically and the police. And they took advantage of that moment. They took advantage of this time and said, you know what? We gonna make sure that we give these a reason to hate us. Because we got the power. We got the guns, we got the rubber bullets, we got the real bullets, we got the bear mace or pepper spray, we got the batons, we got the tasers, we got everything. Our superiors don't give a fuck what we do. We can have on whole body cams and just let off rounds on people, on innocent bystanders walking down the fucking street without repercussions. See, what they didn't expect was Jalil to fire back. See, let me play this out for you. When they went down the street shooting at people, they expected people to run away because it was a van full of cops and they looked tough and scary. It was SWAT, and they all had on shields and face shields and bulletproof vests and all this gear. Then when they got to this part, they saw a group of people like, oh, this is easy. Bop, bop, hit the 2 shots. They got fired back. Got scared, got spooked, ran up to try to disperse whatever was going on. They probably hoped that somebody got hit on their side so that they could have a reason to say that they shot at somebody. But it made no sense. See, they fucked up in their story. When they said that he crouched down by his driver's side door, it looked like he was about to pick something up. See, the video shows him crouching down because there's people firing out of a van at him. And then on top of that, didn't even crouch down far enough to even pick anything up on the ground before he even shot back at police. Then tried to say he ran away when clearly he laid down. Beat that man while he was not resisting arrest, laying on his stomach with his hands in a non-threatening position. Then after following commands, putting his hands on his back, he's still being yelled at to put his hands behind his back to give the crooked ass police the excuse to continue to beat him and to physically abuse him. Nothing short of typical when it comes to why black people have a problem with police and why black people feel different when they get pulled over opposed to anybody else, and why black people don't give a fuck to call the police when something happens because they don't give a fuck about us. What are they going to help? Now, I'm curious to see what comes of this situation, because of course they're gonna, everything's out, it's going viral. The people are now picking up the story. It's funny because before people were really getting wind of the story, see, the algorithms was trying to push it to the side so that so it wouldn't start trending, and his name still ain't trending right now. I don't know how it's not, because this is a guy who shot at the police and is now acquitted. I don't know how it's not trending. I don't know how it's not making national news. I do know how, but just watch how it happened. Just yesterday, when I looked his name up. Now, this is when everybody had the videos and people were talking about it online. If you typed his name in on Twitter, articles from last year popped up. Not the videos, not the articles from today or from yesterday and the stuff that happened and him being acquitted, but rather the narrative about him being a person that attempted to murder the police. Right-wing shit. As a matter of fact, where is this picture at? Hold on. I'm gonna send this picture to myself so y'all can see exactly what I saw and how they tried to do this shit. And it was tied to a Trump page. I'm gonna show y'all. Give me a second. It was specifically tied to a Trump page. So you remember how, Trump has a history of putting out articles about black people when crimes are being said of them, but don't know whether or not they're guilty or not. Check this out, y'all. This is real. A verified Trump support account, campaign account, tweeted this after the shooting happened and after the statement was released about what happened when SWAT released their version of what happened. The Biden campaign bailed out attempted cop killer Jalil Stallings, charged with second-degree murder, first-degree assault. First of all, nobody died, let alone got hit by any of his bullets. Why would he be charged with second-degree murder or first-degree assault for that matter? Then you have this put up about him and have people believe that this is who he is. I'm telling you, It's different out here. This is how they try to paint the narrative. Hold on. There was something else that I wanted to get to. Hold on. There was another article on here. Or somebody saying something. If I don't find it, I don't find it, but oh yeah, we did cover that. Damn. They didn't even cover that story right on Vice. They didn't even put Jalil in the story. That's what I was looking for. They didn't even put Jalil in the story. Vice put out the story about the police doing what they were doing on the streets and trying to make the police look bad, but they didn't cover what happened to Jalil, especially after he got exonerated. It's still a certain agenda out there. But this is that shit that like I said, this doesn't build trust within the community. It doesn't build trust with the police department. It furthers push people away from the justice system and believing in what it is that the cops stand for. They don't really stand for shit. But that's what era we're in. Then they tried to paint the narrative that crime was spiking out here, when in reality it was because the police were leaving the force. After they didn't get their way and after everybody hated the police, they were so sad because everybody hated them. The police didn't like the people said fuck the police. They were tired of seeing all the spray paint that said eat a dick, police. Soft asses should have never became police officers in the fucking first place. And a lot of them were leaving the force. And a lot of them weren't answering to certain calls. Talking about crime was spiking. No, crime's the same. It's just that you guys don't give a fuck about doing your job. And then, of course, the narrative that was being pushed that was saying defund the police or abolish the police, even though that never got put into place, people already were starting to be like, well, let's see what happens if the police weren't there and how you guys going to, who you going to call? What do you mean who we going to call? You know the police still exist and they still have to work and they still have to do their fucking job. Doesn't matter if we don't fuck with them. You still got to do. That's the best part about it, motherfucker. We pay your taxes, so you still have to do shit, even if we say fuck you and eat a dick. That's the job you signed up for. You soft ass hoes. That's the job you signed up for. We can say whatever the fuck we want to say, and we can feel however the fuck we want to feel about you, and you still have to do your motherfucking job. And if you're too scared to do it, you should have never became a police officer in the first place. But nonetheless, I'm happy that Jalil Stallings got justice instead of being another victim to the justice system. You have to understand this shit is crazy, because video has been saving a lot of black people's lives from getting their shit taken away from them forever in the prison system, because they don't have the room to lie anymore. They can't. Get you a lawyer. Somebody great, somebody that can get the fucking security footage when there is. Get the body cam footage. And don't let them tell you that they can't give it to you. No, you have to. This is public. This is what happened. And if this is something that you have on me and you saying I'm doing, you should be able to give that motherfucking body cam footage up immediately. That should be the first thing that cops are required to do in every situation. I don't care what it is, to the most minuscule to the most major. They should always be required, first and foremost, to take that body cam off, give it to they fucking whoever they need to give it to, and get that shit examined right away. See everything that happened. And not only can your superiors be the ones to watch it, but there needs to be other legal counsel involved with watching this shit simultaneously. Nothing can be viewed at in just one person's opinion. Because like I said, the superiors are the ones that are allowing this type of shit, because there's no way that you can be doing this type of shit with a body cam on so comfortably if this wasn't something that was okayed in your precinct. So it shouldn't just be the captain or whoever it is that's in charge of your precinct that's sitting there watching these videos, these body cams. It needs to be more than that. Somebody needs to be assigned to these jobs. Preferably somebody of color. And then you get statements to see if they add the fuck up. Because that video not gonna lie. That video is gonna capture everything that happened in real time. Fuck the words. Well, I'm not trying to hear your words. I'm trying to see what happened, and then you can tell me what in your mind how this played out and why you made these decisions. And why this resulted into this. Because the first person that should be accountable for anything that goes on is that police officer. He needs to be able to take accountability for the situation, even if it wasn't his fault. If he had to shoot back at somebody in his own self-defense, if he pulled up on somebody and somebody really, like say if there was a routine stop, a cop got out the car and all of a sudden the person that he pulled over starts shooting at him and he shot back. Even in that situation, you need to tell them what it was that you did in that situation. I walked up, somebody shot at me, and I returned fire. It should never be where you try to cover your ass. We need different officers in this shit. We need to reform. And if they can't reform, abolish. Fuck it. So that's how I feel about this situation. Once again, I am proud and I'm happy that he got out of this jam, because it could have went any way for this man. It could have went any way. I'm talking about any way. He could have been losing his life to the system as we speak. But that did not happen. That man had God on his side that day. Because they could have easily went from non-lethal to lethal after getting shot at. And then what? He wouldn't have been able to tell his side of the story. Do you think this footage would have been available? This footage specifically. Let me show you this footage right here. From behind, cam footage from behind a store. Do you think they would have had that footage available? No. No. If they would have shot him dead right there, all they would have needed was the fact that he shot at them, the bullet holes on their car. They would have maintained their story that they didn't shoot first, because nobody would have got the body cam footage. They would have protected that. Then there would have been the little conspiracies floating around of the people that knew that were here already, who knew that he didn't shoot first. Then the narrative would have started, and it would have been back and forth, and then there would have been the right-wing white people on this side talking about, no, he shot the police, he tried to kill the police, he deserved it. Versus the people that say, no, it was self-defense. I'm telling you. I am telling you, man, this was just a story I needed to share, man. And I know, see, they've been like I said, the way that they have been treating this thing, they have been blocking the story. It hasn't been able to trend, or people haven't, no major outlets picked it up yet. None of that. They've been trying to block it. They've been trying to shadow ban this story. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to shadow ban this video, but this needs to be heard. And I'm one of those people that want to use my platform to let that shit be heard. So with that said, GMS fam, I appreciate everybody that popped into the show today. I got another one tonight. Please let your artist friends know to send their music to my email, because I'm going to be previewing music tonight from different local artists, unknown people. At 8 p.m. tonight, we doing that. We doing the first ever music review. So I need y'all to come up because I'm gonna be putting up polls, and I'm gonna need y'all to judge these people music, man. You gotta let me know if it's lit or if it's not lit, and we gonna let them know. We gonna pass the message on. We gonna do that shit every Thursday night here at 8 o'clock. So just remember that. If you are an artist out there and you got music, send your music to, let's see, let me put it in the chat. The GMS Show 50 at gmail.com. If you have any artist friends or if you make good music yourself, there goes the email, the GMS Show 50 at gmail.com. Make sure you send your music. I'm going to be pulling up later tonight so that we can judge this shit, all right? Appreciate y'all for pulling up. Put the GMS in the comments, man. We finna roll up out of here. I'm gonna shout y'all out. Let's go. Put the GMS in the comments, everybody. Let me shout y'all out, man. Follow me on my socials. You see that? I got the new little socials up right here. Follow me on my socials above right here. Hit me on the Cash App. I don't know how to point with this thing. Hit me on the Cash App. If you are feeling generous, spread the love, man. GMS Show, we really appreciate the love. I follow everybody back on my socials. Put them GMS's in there. What up, Ralph S? The one, Nolan Powers. Love Lace in the building. Bad Seed ENT. Yeah, you can send the YouTube link for show, man. I accept MP3s and YouTube links. Just make sure you put your stage name, and I'll shout you out, man. And tune in, because if you want to hear your shit get played, you got to tune in, and you got to let your people know to tune in so they can give you the upvote. That's the trick about it, man. If you got a fan base, you got people that support you, you're going to want them to pull up on Thursday nights so that when I ask that question, is this shit lit or not, they going to say yeah, and they going to put you up there, because there's going to be some prizes coming with this shit as we grow. Trust me, I'm telling you. Brandon Lacey, Prophylactic Tactics, Nolan Powers, Marilyn Barris, JJ, Binky Bianca, C Mo, Anarchy 16-9, Lady Aries. Shit, the Cash App sign is dope, yeah. Gives more incentive. Hey, help donate to the GMS Show, because this is all this nigga does. For real. What's up, Arius Allen? Facts, Thursday will be lit. Yes, I want Thursday nights to be lit, man. It's the day before the weekend. I want to have some fun, and then, you know, the next day everybody wake up and be like, yeah, I had a fun night before this. We can go ahead and tackle this day and get this shit cracking, man. You feel me? But y'all gotta make sure y'all support, man. Y'all gotta make sure y'all pull up, or else this Thursday night thing ain't gonna work. We gonna need y'all to spread the word. Let all your artist friends know. Thursday nights at 8 p.m. on the GMS Show, he plays people's music, and everybody got to review it. And if it's lit, it's lit. You're gonna be put in the top rankings, and we gonna remember that. And you're gonna go up against other people, and they gonna vote against that. But we gonna make it healthy though. We gonna make sure we give good critiques. We gonna make sure we give good, pass on good, healthy judgment. Keep encouraging these brothers and sisters to continue to make they art. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. So make sure y'all pull up, man, tonight at 8 p.m. on my channel for the GMS Talent Show. Alright? I'll see y'all later on, man. GMS fam, the green room. We out.